Hello and welcome to the latest video on my first property sale. My name is Marc Shoffman. I'm the editor of Estate Agent Today, and on this edition I'm joined by Sophie Harker, who is a branch director for EweMove in Stamford and Spalding. Do you want to start by introducing yourself?
Yes, so as you said, I'm Sophie, one of the branch directors of EweMove Stamford and Spalding. We've had this branch since 2013, and for me, it's kind of property is all that I've ever done. I was at another estate agency for 8 years prior to that. That's a bit about me, really.
Okay, great. And so how long ago was your first property sale, the first commission you earned?
We used to do lettings mainly. So I started with a large lettings portfolio, and then we sold a few properties for landlords as they started to kind of say, like, we love your service, and now we want to sell, the market's better. And so we'd sell some of those. But the very first sale that was actually a seller, and kind of had the emotional attachment to it, is a bit of a unique story, really, because it was Sarah, who is the other branch director. It was her first house.
Okay.
So a lot of our business comes from friends and recommendation and referrals and things. And Sarah actually joined after having been through that service and seen what we do, and then being made redundant, and it switched her across to join the team. But that was a 4 bedrooms. It was called Corner Cottage because it sort of sat on a corner, semi-detached, 220 back then. And it was beautiful, loads of interest, sold for full asking price, and actually a very nice, relatively smooth sale.
And so she was so impressed that she became an estate agent, or she was already in agency herself?
No, she wasn't in a estate agency. She was dealing with insurances and pensions and all of the financial side of things. And then, yeah, she was impressed with how kind of her creative side kind of shone to, or was drawn to what we did, because our details aren't as standard. We put a lot into it, into making it very unique and different. And so that side really attracted her. And then shortly after, he was made redundant and switched across to us. The rest is history, as they say.
Yeah. And how did it feel for you doing that for the first time? Was it sort of nerve-wracking, I guess, trying to sell a friend's property as well? Did that create added stress? Completely.
Double pressure, because it's a friend. It's a really good friend. And we were so good at kind of the letting side of things and quite new to the sales side. Even though I'd worked in another estate agency for 8 years prior, my role had always been sort of the sales progression and typing up the listing. So a lot more of an administrative role rather than a front of house sales negotiator role. So yeah, it was a lot more pressure, but amazing once it was all through and all complete. And we always did then, and we always will continue to go over and hand over the keys, and we hand over like a home move box, so like a little hamper of things. Very nice first sale.
And so what year was that?
That was I think that was 2016.
2016, okay. So amid Brexit and all those sorts of pressures as well.
Yes, true.
Wow,
yeah.
Very good. And how have things changed since then? Has it become, do you think, harder or easier? How do you feel now you do it?
Very different market at the moment. I mean, the market that we're in right now is completely different. It's so much interest in every property because the supply is low, but the demand is high. So we've always had a really, really good kind of average price achieved. We've always been around sort of 98, well, pretty much 98.6% of asking price achieved. However, more recently, it's sort of 100% and above, because people are coming in with, you've probably got 3 or 4 people offering on a property at a time. However, those chains, when then people are then needing to find a property, they're up against 3 or 4 other offers. And so I would say, it's not always easy to sell a property, but it's easier to make the sale, but then getting it through to completion and exchange is a lot harder. Open chains are a big problem in the UK at the moment, and it's just taking longer for things to turn over. So we're kind of really focused on managing that stress for people, really, and that process. I always say that's where the hard work begins. You can get an offer and you can agree a sale, but then our job as an estate agent, the hard work begins at that point.
Okay, Sophie Harker, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.